There are many developers I've covered over the years, but one developer that really stands out to me is Suits and Sandals. In 2018, I discovered the lovely Chimera Destroy All Monster Girls, and over time became one of my favorite games. It has that right blend of Mega Man and other platformers while retaining its charm. That brings me to the game today. I love to talk about another passion project in tribute to an anime franchise. Here's my thoughts on Mega Serval. Kemono Friends is a Japanese media franchise that started as a mobile game and eventually sprung into manga and anime. It was a cult following that has grown over time. I didn't even discover this until I followed the developer for Mega Serval Saxophone. I got curious about the characters, looked up the show, and I learned a lot. The show taught me about animals like serval, shoebill, margay, and you have the lovely Japanese crested ibis. While relatively simple, it was fun to watch and it really gave me some great moments, and there were some darker moments sprinkled in there. I really enjoyed the Kemono Friends enough to even purchase this cute figure of Serval after becoming a fan. So yeah, I was pretty excited when I heard there was going to be a platformer in the making, and this brings us to the game Mega Serval. Mega Serval's story follows the, main character Serval, who is trying to rescue her friends who are now possessed by the evil creatures known as Celians. It's up to the almighty Serval to rescue them through 12 stages in a game, and each of these stages is similar to Mega Man. There are bosses with their own weaknesses and strengths against each other. I can say this is honestly faithful to the classic Mega Man games. I love the boss select screen faces so much. They're so goofy. Every time I look at Rock Python's smug face, I just can't help but laugh. And then it makes it funnier, it's comboed with Serval looking down in terror. The details of the animations when you select your stages are good too, especially Toki's. Many friends from the show made appearances throughout the stages. I swear, like every session I played, I discovered at least one new friend. There are many secrets or times they pass by so quickly, so catching them and recognizing them was great. Getting into the actual levels themselves, I love the aesthetics of the backgrounds as it nails that retro look it's going for. The game is a pleasure to look at. Importantly though, it's easy to read when I was going through these stages controlling Serval. The way Serval controls is great with sliding, attacking, and using different abilities I acquire throughout the game. Being able to slide and jump so fast makes playing through these levels super fun. Like this, coupled with other movement abilities, you can just zoom through the stages. The boss ability of Black Jaguar gives Serval a punch to fly through the air. Birds of Paradise gave me a shield that I use to get a little bit of height and invulnerability. And then you have Rock Python's attack that gives you extra reach and is a nod to Simon Belmont from Castlevania. Even the stage itself is pretty much from Castlevania 1. I played through it a few times and only used the whip for that authentic feel. The stages are a good mix of platforming and action. The challenge is there, especially on Rock Python stage. During this one section, no matter how many times I play the stage, this section it gives me so much anxiety. I thought it was over after playing it in Chimera Destroy All Monster Girls with the wind, but no, it's back with a vengeance. I remember going through Black Buck's train stage and falling at the disappearing platforms. They get faster as you continue, so there's always that thrill of waiting or being brave and skipping bits. The platforming was hectic with like enemy placements, some fun, some not so fun, but It's really the life of a Mega Man game. You have to have those gotcha moments, those unfair moments, and it didn't feel as brutal as the Mega Man games, so I appreciate a better balance for those moments. Luckily, each stage doesn't take long, even more so on replays, so you can imagine how fun it is to come back to see how fast you can just play through these stages, and the game really encourages you to find these skips that you can just bypass different sections to increase your time, or I guess decrease your time in this instance. So every time I played, I found one new thing to speed up my way to the end. The game even has a race mode, a returning feature from previous Suits and Sandals games. I always liked this mode, so if you're a speedrunner, you'll definitely have a blast. The levels are random, but I had access to every boss's ability. It's a fun, hectic mode that tests how fast I can get through each level. There's even a time tracker that tells me how quickly I finished. Sometimes I was caught off guard and still got destroyed. Still, I never got super frustrated with the game and the standard difficulty settings. I always felt encouraged to try harder, and the infinite lives my first time around just relieved that pressure. Eventually, I went to the classic Mega Man formula. I started out with a limited amount of lives, and I just really liked that little bit of sense of thrill and to see if I could get through a stage without dying. And honestly, it felt great. Getting that victory and saving a friend just really added to that. And I was just curious about the settings, so I messed around, and to my surprise, there are a handful of accessibility options that you can change, like the number of lives, pits that can cause damage or instantly kill you. There's even a modifier that affects how much damage I would take. It's cool and it gives replay value. Also, I can't forget to mention a button layout for Xbox, Switch, and the PlayStation. It's a small addition, but thanks for adding this. Most of the music was composed by 40 Nicks, who did a phenomenal job of capturing the essence of the show. Cadenator, a music artist who worked on previous Suits soundtracks, created 2 tracks. One of my favorite tracks in the game, One Hit Hero by him, is so good. Jack's Cheese created these sound effects for the game. The health and energy refilling has that familiar sound to Mega Man. I was impressed by how faithful all the sounds were to the source materials. I recommend checking out their work if you like anything you heard here. They have been making some really good music for years. There is so much I adore about this game. As both a Chimera and Mega Man fan, I only really had 2 tiny issues of Mega Serval. And one is, what the heck happened to the bios? In some of the previous saxophone games, I just liked the addition of the character bios. They gave me insight into a character, and I really think the fluff adds a lot to the world. It would be fun to see this in Mega Serval or a sequel, wink wink, in the future, just to give insight into when these friends first appear. It's like another way to introduce someone to the series, and I think it would be a pretty cool way for others to just see, whoa, what is this character, or when did this first character appear in the actual anime. It would be pretty neat to have this tracked outfit for Serval after finishing race mode. How could you taunt us with this and not give it out? I love the idea of the random stages in the race mode, but how cool would it be just to have all the enemies randomized in the stage? I am not sure how difficult that would be, but it would be so fun to play through a stage and having the best RNG or the worst RNG and just getting to the end, seeing the boss and being like, oh, wow, I don't have that weakness yet. Or just playing one of the more difficult bosses at the beginning of your run. By the end of it all, is Mega Serval worth the price? Well, I can tell you it's pretty expensive, costing a large sum of $0. Due to the Kemono Friends license agreements, fan-made games cannot be made with any money in mind, so it shows how much work and dedication really went into this game. Shout out to everyone involved in the making of Mega Serval, the translators, the artists, everyone did an awesome job. Even if you know nothing of the show, if you have any interest in cute anime or Mega Man, give it a try. Of course, those familiar, then hell yeah, it's one high recommendation for me. And if you do, I hope you enjoy your stay in Japari Park. I wish the best of luck to future Suits and Sandals projects. They tend to deliver, and I am so excited just to see what's going to come up next. If you enjoy the content and you just want to see more videos like this, then consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.